Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today we are talking about the best stamp plans. So the plans that you buy for stamps that you acquire by doing expeditions. This character is not authorized, so you need to go to Wildspring Refuge first to get authorized, but I'm intentionally on this character to be able to show you every single plan. That's the Wildspring Refuge in here. We are inside, and Giuseppe is the one selling those plans. Now, before I start talking about them, it's important to address current issue we have in the game. Union Power Armor is currently bugged. So I am recording it on a public test server, as in here Union Power Armor is already fixed. So I can show you that, and we are expecting this patch with this fix as well as a new DLC to be released in June. The exact date is not yet known, but this power armor is expensive, so you plan to buy it, you need to start saving. And now let me discuss all the plans and what is in here that's worth buying. So outside of cosmetic stuff, that will be very subjective, so I will not be judging most of the cosmetic stuff unless there is some other use case. So if it's a headwear or paint, it's up to you if you want it. There is a lot of those cosmetic stuff for your camp and for other things. Some are slightly usable, like those dice tables. You can play them, gamble on them, but yeah, it used to be the thing that you could earn caps. Now you will only be losing caps, so they don't really have actual use case. You will never win. All those machines, you will just slowly lose your caps. It's no longer possible to win. It was for a while, but Bethesda decided to fix it, as it wasn't intended, it looked like. Then we have first weapon plan, Auto Axe. Auto Axe remains the most powerful melee weapon. So if you want one, absolutely worth it. If you want to save some stamps, Chainsaw is close second. So you will not lose much damage going after Chainsaw, so you can save stamps if you choose Chainsaw. If you choose Auto Axe, I would recommend Burning Mode for the ability to heal with friendly fire, as well as Electrified Mode, which overall puts out the highest damage. Poisoned mode is not so good. Turbo mode you don't buy. What it currently do, it just reduces your damage. It doesn't do anything positive. It just gives you 33% damage reduction. I don't know why would you choose to do that. Don't do that. Then Circuit Breaker. It's still not in the live game, but it will be available from Giuseppe from June, next month. So like 4 weeks of wait before you can buy a Circuit Breaker plan. It is a weapon, 10mm pistol, very unique one that we were able to obtain from previous season boards. Is it worth it? It's not the most powerful pistol, but it lets you do a really cool build that I called Don't Hit Yourself. Definitely if you did a lot of things inside Fallout 76 already and you are high level, you want it, and you want at least to try Don't Hit Yourself build when enemies just die by shooting you, which is very unique, and Circuit Breaker is required for that. Outside of that, Circuit Breaker do not really have a huge use case. There are better pistols. Then Civil Engineer, you have a lot of mods, and it needs to be said, Civil Engineer is not the most powerful armor, but in the same time, you are getting plans to craft it for free from the questline, and on top of that, it is tradable. So it is the armor set that you can obtain easier, relatively easier than other armor sets. So it's still worth to probably, if you have a set, purchase the best mods for it. What will be the best mod? Depends on your build, but generally, Buttrest is the best for protection. So you want all 3 Buttrest for your limbs, legs, and torso. So all of those. Then depend what you are looking for that torso. I would go after jetpack. It's the most expensive, of course. You cannot go wrong with a jetpack. So I would recommend jetpack for a torso. And for your limbs, ultralight build. I don't know where is it on the list, but there it is. You always need to inspect to be sure that you buy the limbs ultralight and not the torso ultralight, as it is taking the same slot as a jetpack, so obviously jetpack is way better than +5 to your action points and a little bit lower weight of the armor. So Civil Engineer ultralight for limbs, that's what I recommend. Civil Engineer under armor, unfortunately not as good as Secret Service. It does provide, if you equip it with shielded, a little bit of fire protection, but not enough to justify this under armor. I would not recommend for now. Maybe in the future if they will buff it, who knows. Cold Shoulder, another weapon from previous season boards. The Rip Daring weapon, Cold Shoulder, it is amazing shotgun. And probably my favorite. From all the shotguns, probably my favorite. It feels so good to use. Satisfying sound, the slow effect, the cryo effect on it. Amazing weapon. Remains, in my books, as #1 shotgun you can currently get in the game. So if you plan to do any shotgunner build, Cold Shoulder is your friend. It is a weapon capable of killing bosses. So yes, the best shotgun. Most shotguns cannot do that. This one can. Then you have more paints. If you want them, feel free to buy whatever splash paint, lights, and so on. It's all up to you. There is a lot of it. I like overgrown paints for the weapons, but as well, that's personal preference, so I would not say they have any more value than anything else. Look, that's perception, up to you. About linings, if you for some reason want a Civil Engineer, you are looking only to buy shielded lining, this one. Other ones are just inferior. I don't even know what is the point of them existing. You can see what it does, and yes, it's much weaker than Secret Service. The only difference, Secret Service do not offer fire resistance, offer higher resistance on everything else. More strength, more perception, more endurance, like double the benefits if you go with Secret Service. After that, we have more cosmetics. And one cosmetic that I will mention because there is use case for that. Trench Runner's Hoodie. Only 30 stamps. Very cheap to craft. And when you don't have time to play but you want to max out your caps with a vendors, this is the hoodie that you craft and you can sell it for a lot of caps. And it basically costs cloth to craft, and cloth is everywhere. Like pre-war money scrap into cloth, books scrap into cloth. So easy to craft. Gives you caps, so just craft like 255 of those hoodies, sell them to a vendor, you have your daily caps without playing. So for this reason, this one cosmetic item is on the list of the best purchases you can do with your stamps, and only 30 stamps. About Union Power Armor. The Union Power Armor is the best in the game overall, in my opinion. I'm using it 90% of the time. I have other power armors, Union 90% of the time. The reason for that is the full set offers you carry weight bonus and poison resistance bonus when stats of the set are almost the same as any other endgame power armor set. So we are not losing anything and you have a lot of benefits. So absolutely get it. About the mods for it, it will be your preference for the chest piece, either emergency protocols or a jetpack. Emergency protocols, of course, only if you are low health build. If you are full health build, just go straight for a jetpack. For your legs, you want calibrated shock, so you will have 100 extra carry weight as it adds up per leg. It's 50 per leg, so you want that. About your arms and helmet, there is nothing that would be considered must-have. So you have choices in this department. I like internal database, as it is cheap, gives you extra intelligence, which means a little bit more experience you are getting. So that's one valid choice. After that, it should be something more, let me scroll. Targeting HUD. This is really cool. It highlights your targets, a little bit of red outline. Easier to spot your enemies, so that's cool. And Tesla bracers. If you want to punch with your bare knuckles in power armor, Tesla bracers are amazing. Still super powerful. You can check my build called Iron Noob, or the endgame Iron Man version of the build. So I'm using basically no weapon to punch and kill everything. Those Tesla bracers, incredibly powerful. They do receive a buff like a year ago, and they remain top-notch mod. Lastly, Tesla coils, some use case for tagging enemies. Not too much. Not too much. I would not say it's essential, but yeah, you can if you really want to. And that is everything you can get with stamps. Choose wisely what you want to buy first. Plan your stamps. As you can see, the good stuff is expensive, and there is a lot of good stuff. Just keep in mind, Union Power Armor should be fixed in June, as well as Circuit Breaker should appear in June together with Union Power Armor, so we will have access to the additional plans. And that being said, thank you a lot for watching, and see you all in the next one.